Hey guys, I'm gonna be reading. The name of this book is Secret from page 8 to 16, just half the chapter. Then on the next part, this will be chapter 2, part 1, and the next one will be chapter 2, part 2. The next one will be page 16 to 24, which is how long the chapter is. So let's get started because this video might be long. Okay, chapter 2, Wednesday. True, I cannot tell you the year the story begins, or even the month, but I see no harm in telling you the day. It was a Wednesday, a humble, unremarkable day, the middle child in the weekday family. There's Tilly for you, sorry. Most people let each one pass without comment, but not the heroine of their story. She's the kind of girl who notices things that others don't. Meet Cassandra. Wednesday is her favorite day. Mine too. Sorry, this means me too in sign language, so that's what I do a lot. Mine too. I love Wednesdays. She believes that just when you least expect something earth-shattering to happen, that it does. Sorry. According to Greek myth, the original Cassandra was a princess of ancient Troy. She was very beautiful, and Apollo, god of the sun, fell in love with her. When she rejected him, Apollo became so angry he placed a curse on her. He gave her the power to predict the future, but he also ensured that nobody would believe her predictions. Imagine knowing that your whole world is about to be destroyed by a tornado or typhoon, and then having nobody believe you when you told them. What misery! Unlike the Cassandra of the myth, the girl who figures in our story is not a prophet. She cannot see into the future, nor has she been cursed by a god. At least not to my knowledge, but she resembles a prophet in that she is always predicting disaster. Earthquakes, hurricanes, plagues. She's an expert in all things terrible, and she sees evidence of them everywhere. This is why I'm calling her Cassandra, or Cass for short. As you know, I cannot describe Cass in detail, but this much I will tell you. From the outside, Cass looks like a typical 11-year-old. Her major distinguishing feature is that she has rather large, pointy ears. And before you tell me that I shouldn't have told you about the ears, let me explain that she almost always covers her ears with her hair or with a hat. So chances are you will never see them. Sorry, my hair is really gross. I need to take a shower because I haven't taken one since Wednesday, so kind of grungy. While she may look like other girls, Cassis and others respect a very unaverage sort of person. She doesn't play games involving fortune-telling or jump ropes or strings of any kind. She doesn't even watch television very often. Sorry. She doesn't own a single pair of soft suede boots lined with fleece. She wouldn't even want a pair unless they were waterproof and could protect her in a snowstorm. As you can tell, Cass is very practical. She has no time for trivial matters. Her motto, be prepared. Her mission, to make sure that she and her friends and family survive all the disasters that befall them. Cass is a survivalist. These are things Cass carries in her backpack every day. Flashlight, compass, silver miler splice blanket. Surprisingly warm if you haven't tried one, also has useful reflective properties. Box of juice, usually gray, doubles as ink in a pinch. Bubblegum, for its sticking value and because chewing helps her concentrate. Cass's patented super chip trail mix, chocolate chips, peanut butter chips, banana chips, potato chips, and no raisins. Ever. Topographic maps, of all the closest deserts and mountain areas, as well as Micronesia and the Galapagos Islands. Rope, toolkit, first aid kit, dust mask, extra pair of socks and shoes, in case of flash floods and other wet conditions. Matches, technically not allowed at school. Plastic knife, because a jackknife is really not allowed. School books and homework, when she remembers, which is not very often. She keeps forgetting to put schoolwork on her supplies checklist. On the evidence of the items in her backpack, you might guess that Cass has led a very adventurous life. But you would be wrong. The truth is, up until the time this story begins, none of the disasters she predicted have befallen her. There have been no earthquakes at school. Not strong enough to shatter a window, anyway. The mildew in her mother's shower turned out to be just that, not the killer mold Cass predicted. And that child spinning around the grass did not have mad cow disease. He was just having a good time. Cass didn't exactly mind that her predictions hadn't come true. After all, she didn't wish for disaster, but she couldn't help wishing people took her concerns more seriously. Sorry, I have an itch right here, so I'm like. Instead, everyone was always reminding her about the boy who cried wolf. Naturally, they took the story to mean the boy shouldn't have cried wolf when there weren't any. But Cass knew the true moral of the story, that the boy was right. There really were wolves around, and that they'd get you in the end if you didn't watch out. Better to cry wolf over and over than never to cry wolf at all. Of all the people in the world, I want to lead back, so only two paid attention to Cass's predictions, Grandpa Larry and Grandpa Wayne. Larry and Wayne weren't Cass's original biological grandfathers. They were her substitute grandfathers. Larry had been Cass's mother's history teacher in high school, and they'd remained friends ever since. Since neither of Cass's original grandfathers were around, Cass's mother asked Larry and Wayne to fill in. Larry and Wayne lived around the corner from Cass in an old abandoned fire station. The bottom floor, where the fire engines had been kept, they had converted to an antique store and warehouse. Their living quarters were upstairs, where in the old days the firemen had slept between fires. Every Wednesday after school, Cass was supposed to work in their shop until her mother called to say dinner was ready. But, in truth, very little work ever got done at the fire station. "You're just in time for tea," Grandpa Larry would say whenever she visited. Grandpa Larry wasn't British, but he'd spent time in England when he was in the army, and he developed a serious tea habit. Cass thought Larry's elaborate tea rituals were a little silly, but she loved the cookies Larry made. He called them biscuits, and the stories he told while their tea was brewing. By now, Cass suspected that most of her stories were exaggerated, if not entirely made up, but they always included useful information, like how to put up a tent in a sandstorm or how to milk a camel. On the particular Wednesday that this story begins, Larry was showing Cass how to make a compass by placing a cork in a bowl of water. Footnote: for Grandpa Larry's compass recipe, turn to the appendix. That's at the end of the book, by the way, not the part in your body. The compass was almost complete, and the cork just about to point north, when her grandfather's basset hound, Sebastian, started barking so noisily that the water shook out of the edge of the bowl. Sebastian was blind, and now that he was growing old, he was very nearly deaf as well. But he had the keenest sense of smell in town. Everybody called him Sebastian, the seeing nose dog, and he had always knew when visitors were about to enter the shop. "Fire drill!" called Grandpa Wayne from down below, which was their code for when a customer had arrived. Guess the compass will have to wait," grumbled Grandpa Larry. "Now get down. Smoke rises, so the best way to keep breathing is to stay low to the ground." He and Cass crouched down and pulled their shirt over their noses as if the room were filling with smoke. Larry pointed to the station's old blast fire pole. "Ladies first." Cass eagerly grabbed the pole and stepped out into the opening in the floor. "Wait," said Larry. "Promise not to tell your mother?" So that's page 16, and I know it's only been like 8 minutes, but there are these little signs. So they say you break it, you fix it. The customer is never right. And if it ain't broke, don't sell it. And it has fix crossed out, so don't sell it. So yeah, I'll do the other one in a separate part. So yeah. Okay, so thanks for watching the first part in chapter 2. Bye.